Tamar. Hope you're doing well. Last night, obviously, you guys get out to that lead in the first half, 12 at halftime, and then they make the run. What do you think down the stretch, the last 8 to 10 minutes? What were the keys to you guys being able to hold on and finish out that game?
I mean, we just had to focus on getting stops because obviously when you play against other good teams, they're going to have some shot makers, some guys that are going to make plays for them. So just for us, it was just, we want to get a stop and then go score. And obviously we weren't able to get as many stops as we wanted, but we did get enough to come out with the win. And on top of that, we just had to take care of the ball down the stretch, limit our turnovers, and make sure we were getting good shots.
Jace. Hey, Tamar, how you doing?
How you doing?
Good. First big game in the hall last night. You were feeding off the energy. You were playing with the crowd. You're feeding off the energy, hitting shots, making plays. How is that? How is that energy you're feeding off? How has that boosted your confidence going forward and being able to, consistently make those plays night in and night out?
Well, I mean, just knowing that when we play here, having the fans, behind us, that obviously gives us some more motivation, some added confidence. But, we have that regardless of, if we're here on the road or at a neutral location. So, and as time goes on and, I continue to, get my legs back, it's expected of me and, my teammates to perform at a high level.
Tyler.
Hey, Tamar, hope you're doing well. Obviously, you showed some flashes of kind of all aspects of your game in the first half. But I guess what do you feel like is the next step for you to be able to do that on a consistent basis? And are there kind of other aspects of your game that you're specifically trying to kind of take that next step with?
Well, like I said, I mean, like just as I get my legs back, I'll be able to, sustain throughout the entire game. Obviously, I was able to, still be solid defensively, but, other than that, I felt as if, rebound, I can rebound the ball better, make sure I'm blocking out at the end of defensive possessions, and then just continue to get my teammates involved and, just play the right way and play hard.
Dustin.
Hey, Tamar. I mean, offensively, obviously, the 5 buckets you got were all kind of a little bit different. You had a couple pull-ups, obviously, the 3-point step back, the floater, and the bucket at the rim. I mean, just how do you feel about just the variety in your offensive game at this point? How quickly do you kind of feel like you've gotten a feel for how you can create your own shot?
I mean, those are just the ways that I like to score. And then my teammates, them knowing my game, they know, like, what my spots are and, where I like the ball. So I really just really credit them for, just being unselfish and, giving me the ball when they saw that I had a scoring opportunity. And, those are just like the ways that I, like to score the basketball. I try to be as unpredictable as possible.
Keegan.
Hey, Tamar, looked like you showed a lot of vocal leadership and a lot of emotion last night, and that's not often found in true freshmen. So is that something that your teammates and the coaching staff has kind of instilled in you, or have you always kind of had that quality?
I feel like that's like one of the bigger parts of my skill set, just like because that's how I've played and how I've conducted myself on the floor since I can remember. Like just a high energy guy, somebody that a motivator out there, an extension of the coach, trying to be a coach on the floor, knowing exactly what's going on in terms of like what the other team is running. But that, from day one since I got here, my teammates and coaches saw that that's what I can bring. And now that's the standard that they hold me to. So, if I'm not, giving, my all in terms of from a leadership standpoint and a communication standpoint and an energy standpoint, then obviously they'll say something to me. But, with me being my biggest critic and, just wanting the best for the team, I make sure that I do my part and being a high energy guy every night out.
Kevin.
I'm curious, Tamar, what you got more satisfaction from your scoring in the first half or being in on that trap at the end with Champagne?
One more time.
Scoring in the first half or being in on the trap at the end of the game with Jordan to kind of force the bad shot.
Like which play that play won the game. So that was the most, important play. The fact that me and JG were in sync on that play and, we were able to, make him force up a contested shot without fouling. we stayed down on the pump fake. So that was really like the best play to me, like, and what meant the most, just because, if we don't like deter, like, the way he sees the rim, and if we would have gave him an easier look, there's a chance that he makes that shot. But the pressure that we applied, I'm glad that we were able to execute that last defensive possession.
Zach.
I guess tomorrow, the broader idea of bench contributions. I know coach has always talked about next man up, but in particular, are there things he's doing for you, for Jordan, even Rob, who's a more experienced guy, that just sort of keep you, whether it's engaged or confident or whatever, that when he calls on you for whatever stretch he needs, just the bench is always going to kind of basically hold the same impact the starters do?
I mean, our mentality is just like, your team is only as good as the last player, like, on the depth chart. So whether it's like, no matter who it is, no matter who he subs in, he just always stresses that you always stay ready, continue to work on your game. And then just from a coaching standpoint, he instills the utmost confidence in all of us. So, when we check into the game, with the work that we put in, we are able to believe in our ability as a team and as individuals. And when we check in, we don't expect there to be any let up when the bench subs in and, and the starters aren't in. Because, I mean, the main goal is to win the game. Like, that's everybody's mindset coming into it. So it really doesn't matter who's on the floor. It's just, whatever minutes you get, you want to maximize them.
Mike Schumann.
Yeah, hey, Tamar, there's a notion in basketball that the mid-range shot is dead and players should either shoot threes or layups, but it's obviously an important part of your game. I'm curious how you think about that and how much do you work on that part of your game?
Well, that's something that I work on every day. I mean, that's a shot that I feel comfortable with. And, those are like spots that I like to get to. And like I said, my teammates know that. So, I mean, it's an important part of my game. And, the higher level you go up, I mean, you see guys like Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeMar DeRozan, older players like, Tony Parker, Coutinho Mobley, they all, at the highest level of basketball, and even in college, like in their college games, they all got to their mid-range shot. Kyrie Irving, So, I mean, it's a very important piece of my game, and, helps me be able to score in more than, one or two ways.
Mike Pegram.
Hey, Tamar, you went to IMG far from home. How much has that helped you make a fast transition here, and why did it help you?
I mean, I would say it helped me just because, like you said, I mean, I was away from home, and, when I went down there, my focus just transitioned from, like, obviously I want to be at home, I want to be with my family and friends, but I know what I'm doing here, and I know what I came here for. So, I want to make sure that all my focus is, where I'm at, and obviously my parents and all the people that are like in my circle out there, they get to as many games as possible. But, going to IMG, it helped me a lot mentally, definitely physically, but in terms from a mental standpoint, I was able to play like almost all of the freshmen that I'll play again this year. So, just being able to play against other elite players and learn how to play with other good players to figure out what kind of role I can fit into on a team full of elite guys.
Last question, Tom Brew.
Tamar, you mentioned the other day that it's still just hooping, but when we see you in the first half, like last night, where you got 11 points, you were very aggressive and active, trying to score. Did you feel a good comfort level and confidence level just by the way that game was playing out last night for that to happen?
I did. I mean, and as time goes on, I'm able to find more of a flow. When I get into the games, and obviously that flow comes with playing more minutes, which is, starting to happen as I'm feeling better on the floor, get my legs back under me. But, I felt comfortable. My teammates always help with that, and it's just something that we all expect to, continue to get better at, and we all expect to find a flow as a team as time goes on, because we're still, learning each other. But I feel like we're on the right path.